Pretty revealing interview AOC gave to the DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, which, I mean, socialism itself is inherently democratic, so I think that name is kind of bullshit personally. But so this is the question. Some on the left have looked at Biden's record and his differences with the Bernie wing of the party, and they conclude that no progress is going to come out of the Biden admin. What's your view? Well, I think that's a really privileged critique. We're going to have to focus on solidarity with one another, developing our senses for good faith critique and bad faith critique, because bad faith critique can destroy everything that we have built so swiftly. And AOC, what exactly has the Biden administration built so swiftly that is actually anything of substance, anything that really benefits the working class, the most vulnerable and marginalized communities of color, etc.? Totally went back on the $15 minimum wage that they campaigned on, blaming it on the parliamentarian. And you said that was something that they'd be able to do. I don't see you criticizing the Biden administration for completely abandoning that promise, or the promise of canceling student loan debt. I think she did speak up about that, saying it's on the grassroots, people needing to organize. How about you actually use your power? You're a highly influential and popular politician across the United States. You have huge, massive social media platforms. How about you use that to pressure Biden to cancel student loan debt? How about you say, I'm not going to vote for this stimulus package. Again, the Democrats only have a very small majority in the House. You say, like, hey, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, etc., other people who are actually, in support of things like canceling student loan debt. Let's get together. Let's hold the Biden administration's feet to the fire. Let's make Biden cancel all that student loan debt before we sign on to this stimulus package. But yeah, they supposedly, from AOC's perspective, the Biden administration has done so many great things so swiftly. Going back on the $2,000 stimulus checks, that became $1,400. So it basically seems like she has gone from being willing and wanting to criticize Democratic politicians' establishment to a certain extent, to saying, well, no, you're probably doing that in bad faith, and we got to come together in solidarity and kumbaya and sing songs, and they're doing all these great things so swiftly. Don't fucking worry about it. What type of world is she living in? I mean, for God's sakes, it's ridiculous. And it just kind of goes to show, basically, any politician, no matter how progressive they claim to be, ends up getting corrupted and co-opted by the Democratic Party establishment that serves capitalism. And again, was it? I think it was Lenin. Yeah, V.I. Lenin, who made the point. It doesn't really matter how many parties you have in a country if they're all serving capitalism, which obviously the Democratic Party and the Republican Party do. And for a supposed democratic socialist that AOC claims to be, she does a really good job of making all kinds of excuses for why we can't try to hold Biden accountable to actually push him left. I know that's a monumental task, and she's not really being helpful in that at all. I mean, basically pushing Biden left is akin to pushing that big ship stuck in the Suez Canal left, but I digress. And we know because it has in the past, and it's taken us so many decades to get to this point, we don't have the time or luxury to entertain bad faith actors. I mean, in our movement, we also have to value our solidarity with one another. Yes, completely. I value solidarity with the working class people, with the vulnerable, with the oppressed, with the marginalized, all across the U.S., all across the world. I don't value any type of fucking solidarity or allegiance to the completely corrupt disgusting Democratic Party that is bought and paid for by the capitalist class. And where's her solidarity for, the people that Biden killed with that bombing in Syria? Where's her solidarity with the people in Iran? Biden hasn't ended the sanctions there. Where's her solidarity with the people in Venezuela, who the Biden administration continues to target with those disgusting sanctions, which are literally a crime against fucking humanity? I mean, come on. For anyone who brings that up, we really have to ask ourselves, what is the message that you're sending to your black and brown and undocumented members of your community? So the undocumented people that the Biden administration is deporting on record pace, those people, or how the Biden administration is in court defending ICE or DHS not being able to be sued because they set up this fake school and then took money from these undocumented people and then deported them? What the fuck? Really? I mean, come on. It's so ridiculous trying to paint this as, well, this is really a privileged critique, actually wanting the Biden administration to do things that benefit these same vulnerable and marginalized groups that she's trying to tokenize. I mean, that is really fucking disgusting, frankly. When you say nothing has changed, I don't think, and a lot of people aren't necessarily saying nothing has changed. They're saying things haven't changed nearly enough. He's done a few good things, yes, but drops in the fucking bucket compared to what he could actually do. Again, abandoning the $15 minimum wage, that would disproportionately benefit these same groups that she's supposedly so concerned about. Where's her smoke for the fucking Biden men? Completely abandoning that would disproportionately benefit women and people of color. Or where's her heat now for fucking abolishing ICE? Didn't she used to support that or talk about the, concentration camps on the border, which now has become, migrant overflow facilities? Haven't heard her talk about that shit since Biden has got in office, have you? Perhaps not enough has changed yet. Perhaps, no, not enough has changed, exclamation point, times a fucking 1,000. I mean, Jesus Christ. And this is not a semantic argument. Just the other night, we in Collective Struggle were able to stop the deportations of critical members of our community, and that would not have happened in a Trump admin. Perhaps, but why aren't you saying, I'm pushing right now and organizing right now to abolish ICE, okay? Or, oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, Jesus Christ. God, she like, wait, let's move this over here now. Interview DSA Magazine. AOC calls socialists who criticize, well, not socialists, just people in general. I think a lot of people who criticize Joe Biden probably wouldn't consider them socialists, but obviously if you're socialist, you're probably more unlikely to actually have a substantive critique. Sad to watch AOC become an apologist for a right-wing capitalist imperialist party that fight against socialism. Bad faith actor is you, AOC. Completely agree. And then, I mean, and yes, her fucking privilege is speaking. AOC charges $150,000 an hour for speech, has a salary with benefits over $200K a year, and just lectured the rest of us about her privileged critique of Biden-Harris. Look, no, she owns a mirror. She just doesn't see in the mirror what I look when I see her. So this is minimum fee $700. I guess this was pulled down. This person had kind of dug this up, but like her fucking privileges is showing. Like, really, you get $200K a year. You charge a shit ton for speaking fees, and it's the people who want health care, $15 minimum wage, abolish ICE, abolish the freaking American empire who are privileged. I mean, check your fucking privilege. Jesus Christ. It's disgusting. Yeah, AOC calling left critics of Democrats privileged, bad faith actors, showed the cognitive dissonance of progressives in a corporate imperialist party. You don't change the Democratic Party, it changes you. They're not pulling the party left, they're pulling the left into the party. Agree. AOC is right that there are bad faith actors labeling themselves socialists when they're not socialists. What she doesn't get is that she's describing herself and the rest of the squad. And then, I mean, yeah, and her record as far as foreign policy goes is quite atrocious, in my opinion. Supporting the coup attempt in Venezuela. Basically, she said that she would, she's deferring to party leadership, aka Pelosi. I defer to caucus leadership on how we navigate this. Really? Really? No. If you had any type of, you're not a true socialist or even a democratic socialist if you don't have any type of international solidarity and you're anti-imperialist, and AOC is very far from being an anti-imperialist. Rep. AOC calls for sanctions on China plus new consulate in Tibet, demands State Department interference in China's internal affairs. Again, not a good look. And so it's kind of ironic. So she's saying dismantling racist anti-Asian violence means standing up to white supremacy, the same ideology that asks us to empathize with those who commit racist violence rather than families destroyed and communities targeted by it. Stop Asian hate. Yes, that's great. Completely agree. But then you can't be talking this bullshit about China. You don't think that plays a role in increasing violence against the Asian community in the U.S.? Not being an anti-imperialist, you're perpetuating that, and that's fucked up. So this is what I was talking about, and I haven't heard AOC talk about this. Go to the top. So ISIS fake college defrauded students, then deported them. The Biden admin is defending the scheme. I thought AOC was all worried about, talking about all the good things the Biden administration is doing for immigrants. Why is she not? What happened to the smoke and the fire for defunding, or I should say abolishing ICE? Not hearing that, are we, from a lot of Democrats once Biden got in office, are we? And it's pretty disgusting. And the deportations are, as much as she said, we were able to get a couple people from being deported. It's not really happening, is it? Hundreds deported under Biden, including witness to massacre. And then, when Biden was asked question, what are you going to do about, this horrible situation and how we treat these migrant people? He's like, well, just go vote for somebody else. Fuck off. Go vote for Trump. Oh, man. So disgusting. And then, Biden... kids in cages. Well, I will make a different video on that, but yeah, I've seen some really disturbing things. Yeah, so pretty disgusting, but and then you have the Washington Post saying that's not. Biden is reopening temporary shelters, which again, It's the same concentration camps that were being used by Trump, but now the corporate media is painting them as temporary shelters or overflow facilities. Biden reopens, border shelter. I mean, Jesus Christ. Fuck. So it's very, very interesting how the corporate media and people like AOC, have went from calling them concentration camps to either renaming them or completely calling them something else. So there you go. What are your thoughts? I mean, frankly, I'm not that surprised that AOC says something like this. Again, there's no really elected representative in the House or the Senate that it actually is a socialist. They may claim to be democratic socialists, whether it's AOC or Bernie, but they don't really act like socialists. Once in power, they don't stand up to the capitalist, imperialist Democratic Party, capitalist, imperialist Biden-Harris administration, and this is just another example of that. Her trying to tokenize, communities of color and undocumented folks as reasons for not criticizing the Biden administration is really, frankly, disgusting and sickening when the Biden administration is continuing some of the same horrible policies under Trump and not actually fighting for things that would improve the lives of those people and communities, like a $15 minimum wage, like universal health care, like canceling student loan debt, like defunding the military and investing in programs of social uplift, etc., etc. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe for more content. Peace. All power to the people.